Good morning, seventh graders. Back for our third week of our extended spring break. Hopefully, we're all following along, got everything done, and doing what we need to get done, and moving through this time that we're quarantined at home. Now, this week brings big change for us in terms of what we're going to be teaching. We've been discussing the Chinese for quite a while, and man, what a significant impact the Chinese made on mankind in the world, in the story that we've been telling. We discussed the Chinese and the inventions they have, and these inventions, what they mean to the world, and how it's going to take everybody a step closer to breaking through, especially in Western Europe and through those dark ages. And we even talked about the connections. With all those great inventions over in China, we had to figure out how they get that trade and the movement of those products and inventions back to Western Europe, into those dark ages, and break through into the Renaissance. And so we talked about the logistics. We talked about opening that Silk Road back. We talked about the Mongols and the importance of the Yuan dynasty. And we've been discussing that Far East reach and what that importance was. And we know some of that's going to be extremely important. The compass and getting people out to sea and moving around. We're going to see the age of exploration. Christopher Columbus coming through soon. We're going to see the breakdown of medieval knights and the castles when we have gunpowder and guns and cannons. We're going to see the movement of information with the advent of woodblock printing and movable woodblock printing turning into the printing press. So there's so much going on there with the Chinese. But we're still not yet back to Western Europe. Now we are to our peak. Now we're going to start traveling back towards where we began. And as we mentioned last, the Silk Road was not just one road, it was a connection of roads back and forth. And very rarely did one person go from one aspect of the trail or the road all the way to the end. Oftentimes they met in the middle. And that middle was the Middle East. Much of what we talked about, again, going back to the days of Constantinople. So we have another place to go, another piece of this puzzle to move all those inventions and goods and continue to move the trade back to the West and back to Western Europe and back to breaking down those dark ages. And this place is a little bit out of the way. We may not have exactly would have guessed this. We are on our way back. We're traveling back down that Silk Road. We're going to bring those inventions back. But there's an area from the south going to move their goods and products north and meet us in the middle and kind of make the key to this trade go around. See, Dark Ages wasn't very rich, didn't have a lot of money, right? And there needs to be something there to kind of keep the trade moving. And so we need to find some of that. And that's going to happen in West Africa. We're going to head down our next unit and talk about West Africa and the importance of these West African civilizations. And we don't often say the importance of West African or African civilizations in general. In fact, a lot of times we think they're mostly third world countries, right? This slowly to develop area. Well, in fact, what we're going to talk about are three societies in West Africa that might have been way more advanced than anything we've seen. They were put together, they were educated, they were moving forward, they were very, very wealthy. And they had two products that everybody wanted: gold and salt. You say salt, right? Yeah, table salt. Salt that we use, okay? That was very valuable. We're going to learn a little bit more why salt was so valuable. It was so valuable, though, people would trade a pound of salt for a pound of gold. I'll take that trade right now any day. But we're going to talk about that part of the connection. Continue moving back. We're getting close to getting back to that Renaissance, getting close to that scientific exploration or scientific revolution and the age of exploration and the Reformation. All things that are going to change in Western Europe when all these good products and trade get back there. But first, we've got to stop off in West Africa. We're going to talk about three great civilizations coming here: the Ghana, Mali, and the Songhai. We'll talk about what they do. In fact, we are going to talk about what most historians consider the richest man ever in the world. Yeah, that's more than Jeff Bezos. That's more than Bill Gates, and that's more than the industrial titans of the time like John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie. We're talking about a guy that himself sent an entire economy into a depression just because he gave away too much gold. So, as exciting as I know you guys sound, West African sounds, hopefully we can make it that because it is a fascinating area at this time. Way different than what you may picture Africa civilizations to be. It's way advanced for the time period. And again, big part of that is going to be the education. We are going to talk also one of the connections with the West Africa and the way their goods are going to be moving up into the Middle East is because, again, of trade, people getting across the Sahara Desert. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But also because of, we know that culture and religion move also through this area. And that's going to be a very important connection as we have Islamic religion moving and being a big part of that movement of goods and products and trade back and forth. So we'll talk all about that. Now, before we get to all those good civilizations, what we need to do, we got to learn a little bit about Africa, its geography, as we do with every unit. So the first thing you're going to do this week is learn about African geography. So on the first assignment, you'll notice there's a little video there to learn all about some of those geographical features. We a lot of times do a geographical challenge in class. It's a little bit hard right now to do with this extended learning. So put together a little video clip, I think it's about 10 minutes long, with some questions about the geography of Africa. And this is very important because what gets established and what happens in Africa has a large amount to do with the geography, as we've talked about with every civilization we discussed this year. It's why a lot of people didn't know about these West African civilizations because of this large Sahara Desert, and also because of why they were able to become these great civilizations with the rivers that they live along. So we'll learn about the African geography first. That's the first assignment you guys got to do. We'll learn about how these civilizations kind of grew from these extended families to towns to these great civilizations of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. And then we'll get into those three great African civilizations and what did they all do to continue to move this story of mankind along. And believe me, gold's important to move the trade. Salt may be more important to the people. We'll talk why salt is so important. Well, I hope everybody's in the sound mind and good spirits and continuing pushing through this extended spring break. Hopefully we can get back to class as soon as we can. Miss you guys talking to you each day. And if anybody needs to contact me, ask any questions, please email me, get hold of me any way you can. This week I'll set up a Zoom conference so we can get a hold of everybody and discuss what's going on. I'll put an announcement out for that later this week on what we'll make a designated time there. But I will have that Zoom open if anybody wants to contact me. I'll post that every day if you want to get a hold of me just to discuss anything about social studies this week. Again, office hours or when I'm at my computer almost all the time, 9 to 12 every day this week. But I'm down here a lot, even besides it. So if you want to get a hold of me, email me, let me know. Or if you want to contact me through Zoom and have a chat for some reason or whatever, that's fine too. So we'll see you sometime. Talk to you later.